ensure they have access to the best education possible, and you're setting them up for success, creating a future in which they get to determine who they are and what they want to be. But let's be honest, our education system as it stands was not designed with all of our children in mind. Far too many schools are underfunded, too many teachers are undersupported, and too many policies are made without the voices of the people who matter most, you, the families. And for far too long, too many students have been expected to do more with less. But this moment we find ourselves in is a pivotal turning point, because your voice has the power to challenge the status quo and transform the educational landscape here in Memphis. Every time you attend a school board meeting, ask hard questions, organize your community, or share your story, you are reminding leaders that community and advocacy isn't about having a title. It's about having the courage to demand change and working hard to turn possibility into reality. Each and every one of us is here because we have a shared belief that real meaningful change happens at the community level. And instead of sitting on the sidelines, you've made the bold decision to throw your full support and energy behind the incredible work being done in your respective communities. Community organizing isn't glamorous. It's not like cable news. But it is where real change begins. Have you ever stood on a neighbor's porch, heart racing, about to knock on that door? That's the kind of courage that this work demands. And I've always been inspired by the transformative power of harnessing our collective voices to say something together, do something together, demand something together. But I would be remiss not to mention the many challenges that often come with community organizing. It's not as simple as making a few phone calls, sending a few emails, or canvassing. Community organizing is labor-intensive work, day in and day out. It takes a lot of grit and resilience, something I know everyone in this room understands. Despite these challenges, in the face of uncertainty and a tremendous amount of adversity, each of us has committed ourselves to building a future where every child has the education and the resources they need, not just to learn, but to thrive. Amid all of these challenges, we are reminded that this work is not abstract. It is deeply personal. For Miss Sarah, the fight for safer communities and stronger schools is not just a mission, it's a lived reality. Her grandson, Braylon Murray, was taken by gun violence a few years ago right here in Memphis. That kind of loss doesn't change one family. It echoes through an entire community. It makes every organizing conversation more urgent, every door knock more meaningful, every policy push for more important. Miss Sarah has taken that unimaginable pain and transformed it into purpose, relentlessly advocating for common sense solutions to tackle youth violence, demanding safer streets, and insisting that no family should have to endure the same heartbreak. Her courage reminds us that community safety and educational opportunity are intertwined. When we fail to protect our children on playgrounds, in classrooms, or in their neighborhood, we weaken the foundation of our democracy. And that's why the work everyone in this room is collectively doing is so crucial. And despite what are sure to be more temporary setbacks along the way, an election lost or a defeated ballot measure, when we show up and use our collective power, the results are not only inspiring, they are life-changing. One of the most inspiring examples of community power change I've ever seen lives right here in Memphis. The Memphis Lift is, as you all know, a movement of parents and grandparents demanding high-quality schools and bold transformation for public education. It's a reminder that parent power and the importance of being engaged and involved in our children's educational journey, which is not always easy, life can get hectic and things can get in the way, but is crucial. And it continues to be crucial that we harness that collective power as parents, not only to be active in our children's education, but to When we know what's going wrong, it's easy to tackle the issues head on. But if we're unaware of how systems are failing our children, it's hard to find real meaningful solutions to get things back on track. And that's why it's so important for us to do this work together, sharing information, stories, and data to make sure that our children have access to the very best. The Memphis Lift has been on the front lines of this work for over a decade, armed with a vision rooted in the simple but radical belief that the people closest to problems should lead the solutions. Ms. Sarah and her team are rewriting what community leadership looks like. Over the past decade, this coalition has expanded from a small group to thousands of engaged parents, knocking on thousands upon thousands of doors, and it has become increasingly clear that parent power is the driving force changing the educational landscape of Memphis. That power was not built overnight. It's the result of hard work, unwavering determination, and a relentless insistence on being heard. And because of those of you in this room who, instead of sitting on the sidelines, joined your fellow parents, arm in arm, the number of lives that have and will be changed for the better is immeasurable and something you should all be extremely proud of. As a parent myself, I know it's fair to say that we all want what's best for our children. And that's why the coalition the Memphis Lift has built is so crucial. This work is key to continuing to transform communities for the better, ensuring our children can grow up without limits or barriers. But you don't have to just take my word for it. You can look at the 5,000 of you engaged parents who are actively working to break the cycle of limited educational opportunities for their children. Look at the Literacy Fellowship Program that ensures parents have an understanding on what the data says about their children's education and how to use that information to demand change. And the partnerships that have been made over the years to ensure that the most vulnerable amongst us has the opportunity to be heard and to engage with transforming the systems we all rely on. This is why civic engagement must be rooted in the real lives of our communities. We cannot talk about democracy without talking about the conditions our children are growing up in. Without access to quality education, without safe neighborhoods, without community support, democracy becomes a promise unfulfilled. The work happening here in Memphis, led by each and every one of you, is a direct response to that broken promise. It's a declaration that every child, regardless of their zip code, deserves safety, a high-quality education, and an opportunity to live up to full potential. At Murmuration, we are proud to partner with the Memphis Lift, providing tools and data and support to help build membership, reach voters, and fuel the kind of grassroots engagement that changes systems. But the true engine of change is the parent power driving it all. Because you are the reason that progress towards a better future is being made, we're honored to be a part of that story. As Ms. Sarah puts it, you just have to believe the people in the community. Whether it's helping a parent challenge an unjust suspension, or standing with families in juvenile court to stop the school-to-prison pipeline before it starts, the Memphis Lift shows us what it means to lead with courage, compassion, and a deep-rooted accountability to your community. In these trying times, it's important that we never forget how powerful hope can be. Hope isn't just a feeling, it's a force. It's the reason you keep going even when things get tough. It's what drives us to build, to organize, to believe. Hope is action. Hope is a parent knocking on one more door, a neighbor showing up at a school board meeting for the first time, a community refusing to be ignored. That's the kind of hope the Memphis Lift has modeled for us all. It's what makes me proud to stand beside you, not just as a partner, but as a believer in what is possible. The systems we rely on, our schools, neighborhoods, and democracy, were not built overnight, and they surely won't be rebuilt but brick by brick, voice by voice, vote by vote, we are making them stronger and ensuring that they work for everyone, not just a select few. As I stand before you, I can proudly say, hope has become our shared superpower. So as we look ahead, let us carry that hope with us, not as something fragile, but as something fierce. Let it fuel our organizing, deepen our partnerships, and remind us why this work matters. Let it echo in every phone call, every doorstep conversation, every parent-led meeting that demands more for our children. The path to change may be long, but with courage in our hearts and our community at our back, there is no limit to what we can achieve together. Thank you for your belief, for your dedication, for your power. Let's keep building the future we know is possible together. Thank you.